In League of Legends, we've all heard the same advice. Don't die, farm safely, and take calculated fights. You know, play smart. But what if I told you that one player has made an entire career out of doing the exact opposite and still winning? Meet Simon, a man who has turned running it down into an art form, a global meme, and an actual winning strategy. From his days as a professional player to becoming one of the most controversial and entertaining streamers in League history, this is the story of how one Swedish madman flipped the game on its head and somehow convinced thousands of players to follow him. Buckle up, because we're about to dive into the rise of the Thebausffs, the king of chaos, the master of Inting Sion, and possibly the most misunderstood genius in League of Legends. Simon Hofferberg, or as the internet knows him, the Thebausffs, grew up in Sweden, a country known for producing some of the most mechanically gifted players in esports. Like many kids his age, Simon started gaming young. But while most people dabbled in multiple games, Simon became obsessed with one: League of Legends. Hours turned into days and days into weeks, grinding ranked ladder, learning every champion, every matchup, every little detail. He didn't start out as the Sion one-trick we know today. In fact, his early champion pool was surprisingly diverse: Fiora, Camille, Gnar, even tanks like Maokai. His style, however, was always the same: insanely aggressive. If there was a fight to take, Simon was already in it. By 2016, his relentless grind had paid off. He climbed to Challenger in Europe, caught the attention of talent scouts, and eventually joined G2 Esports Academy team as a top laner. This was the dream: structured scrims, big tournaments, a professional paycheck. But here's the thing: the pro scene wasn't the perfect fit. Competitive League is strict, disciplined, and meta-focused. And Simon wanted to do things his own way. After a few seasons, he decided to step away from the professional grind. That's when everything changed. So, how do you go from a disciplined pro player to the most infamous Sion in the world? It started innocently enough. Simon was experimenting with off-meta picks and builds on stream. Then came the discovery: Sion's passive, which lets him keep fighting after death. Combined with high damage, builds could completely shred turrets and pressure lanes. He realized that by playing hyper-aggressive style, even if it meant dying intentionally taking bad-looking fights, he could still trade up in value. While the enemy chased him, his team got objectives. While they wasted cooldowns on him, another lane pushed. The result? A style the community dubbed Inting Sion. But here's the catch: it's not mindless feeding. Behind every dive is calculated macro. He knows exactly how much gold he'll have after a death, how long enemy rotations will take, and what objectives will be open. In fact, most players trying to copy him fail miserably because they don't understand the timing and map control behind it. His KDA might look like 1/9 too, but check the Nexus at 25 minutes and it's his minions crashing in. It's controlled chaos, and nobody does it better than the Thebausffs. Of course, not everyone understood the genius behind the madness.
That unique cringe playstyle. Nice, bro. All the others are f***ing nobodies. They're not gonna get grief. They're not gonna get trolled. Don't try and use that shitter as f***ing logic, because he doesn't play League of Legends either. And he, like I said, he's the reason that the f***ing person that I played against didn't get banned. By the way, because Riot EUS doesn't ban intentionally feeders because that moron. But if you ask anybody on any server, nobody likes playing with that freak, which kind of explains why EUS is the way it is. Because he ruins the game. Everybody, his dipshit fanboys like, I'm gonna sit in side lane, I don't know macro. Nobody learns macro on the server. Nobody has any game knowledge.
In solo queue, perception is everything. And to the average teammate, someone going 0-6 at 15 minutes looks like a griefer reports piled in. People flamed him in all chat on multiple occasions. Riot's automated systems flagged his account for intentional feeding.
Oh my god.
Despite the fact that his win rate on Sion was consistently among the highest in Challenger, the community was split. Some called him a troll ruining games. Others argued he was a brilliant innovator who had found a loophole in the game's design. Even pro players chimed in. Some laughed and admired the creativity. Others warned that this style was dangerous because it encouraged bad habits in the general player base. But Simon, he didn't slow down. If anything, the controversy only fueled his brand. He leaned in, made jokes about it, and embraced the chaos. By 2020, Thebausffs was no longer just a high-yellow player. He was a full-fledged content machine. His Twitch streams became must-watch entertainment. You never knew if you were about to witness the most galaxy brain split push ever, or the most ridiculous dive into 5 enemies for no reason other than why not.
Wait a minute! Who are you?
What's up, boys? Kill them all. Hey.
On YouTube, his highlight compilations pulled in millions of views. Fans clipped his insane base rushes, his passive kills, and, of course, his legendary 0-tenths power spikes. One reason for his meteoric growth: he turned himself into a meme. The term bossing it down became part of League culture. People spammed it in Twitch chats. Reddit threads dedicated to his plays got thousands of upvotes. Even players in other regions knew the phrase. And while his gameplay was the main attraction, his personality sealed the deal. A mix of dry humor, self-awareness, and a surprising amount of in-depth game knowledge. He wasn't just a clown. He could explain every move, even the ones that looked insane. Love him or hate him, Thebausffs changed the way people think about League. He proved you don't have to follow the meta to win. That sometimes, breaking the rules is exactly what catches your opponent off guard. His success inspired countless players to try Inting Sion in their own games, with, let's just say, mixed results. And beyond strategy, he brought something League desperately needs: fun. Too often, the game gets bogged down in toxicity and try-hard mentality. Thebausffs reminded everyone that at the end of the day, this is a video game. It's supposed to make you laugh, give you crazy moments, and leave you with stories you talk about for weeks. From his early days grinding the ladder in Sweden, to competing with G2, to becoming the internet's favorite chaos merchant, Thebausffs has built a legacy unlike any other. Is he a genius? A troll? Maybe both. But no matter what you call him, you can't deny the impact he's had on League of Legends. And with every Sion ult, every questionable dive, and every miraculous win, one thing is certain: he's not changing for anyone. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this deep dive, make sure to like, subscribe, and let me know in the comments. Is Thebausffs the smartest player in the game, or just the craziest?